Let me ask you something. Are you truly ready to take control of your energy and protect your peace? Every single day you have a choice, to focus on what builds you or to waste energy on what drains you. Your time, your focus, and your spirit are too valuable to be scattered in the wrong places. Today, we'll uncover the 6 places you should never spend your energy if you want to live your best life. There's one truth you have to accept if you want to live a life filled with peace, purpose, and progress. Not everyone in your life is going to be for you. Some people will quietly celebrate your success, but others will secretly resent it. Some will clap for you in public but doubt you in private. You have to learn to tell the difference. If you want to protect your energy, you cannot afford to keep pouring it into people who don't support you. These are the ones who roll their eyes at your dreams, who minimize your achievements, or who subtly plant seeds of doubt in your mind. They might be friends, family members, or co-workers. They might even be people you've known for years. But here's the harsh reality. Time and familiarity do not equal loyalty. When you keep investing your heart, your time, and your attention in people who do not believe in you, you're essentially watering a plant that has no roots. It doesn't grow. It doesn't bloom. It just takes from you until you have nothing left. The people you allow close to you have a direct impact on how you think, how you feel, and how you move forward in life. If their presence constantly makes you doubt yourself, if you always feel smaller around them, it's a sign that they're not contributing to your growth. They're draining it. It's not always easy to step back from these kinds of relationships. Sometimes we hold on because we hope they'll change. Sometimes we feel guilty for pulling away. But you have to understand that protecting your energy is not selfish. It's necessary. The more you give to the wrong people, the less you have for the right ones. The people who truly matter will cheer for you, even when they don't fully understand your path. They'll encourage you to keep going when things get hard. They'll see your potential, even when you can't see it yourself. Those are the people worth keeping close. When you surround yourself with believers, people who lift you up instead of pulling you down, something powerful happens. Your mindset shifts. Your self-confidence grows. You start to think bigger and dream bolder because you're no longer weighed down by the voices of doubt. You begin to realize that your vision isn't too much and your goals aren't unrealistic. They were simply too big for the small minds that couldn't see what you were capable of. Here's the thing. Energy is contagious. If you spend your time around negative, unsupportive people, that energy will seep into your own thoughts and actions. You'll start second-guessing yourself. You'll hesitate when you should act. But if you choose to invest in uplifting, positive relationships, their belief in you will fuel your own belief in yourself. You'll find yourself taking more risks, pursuing bigger opportunities, and refusing to settle for less than what you deserve. You must be intentional with your circle. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone has earned the right to hear your dreams or witness your progress. Some people only want to be close enough to watch you fail so they can feel better about themselves. You can't give them that satisfaction. Protect your vision. Share it only with those who will nurture it, who will remind you why you started, and who will stand beside you in both the storms and the sunshine. Life is too short to waste on people who secretly hope you'll lose. You need to be surrounded by those who want to see you win. Your dreams are precious. Your energy is priceless. And the right people, the ones who truly care, will never make you feel like you're too much or not enough. They will remind you that you are exactly where you need to be, becoming exactly who you were meant to become. One of the most exhausting ways to spend your energy is by constantly worrying about what other people think of you. No matter who you are, no matter what you do, there will always be opinions, judgments, and whispers. Some people will praise you, others will criticize you, and some will misunderstand you entirely. But here's the truth you must hold on to. Their opinions do not define your worth, your future, or your potential. The only person who truly has to live with your choices is you. So why give control of your life to the voices outside of it? We live in a world where everyone seems to have something to say. Social media makes it even louder. You can post a victory and someone will downplay it. You can share a dream and someone will call it unrealistic. You can make progress and still be told you're not moving fast enough. If you let every comment, every side glance, and every piece of unsolicited advice sink into your heart, you will lose yourself in a sea of other people's expectations. That's no way to live. The danger of caring too much about what others think is that it puts you in a constant state of performance. You start making choices based not on what's right for you, but on what will keep you liked, accepted, or approved. You play small so no one feels threatened. You hide your true self so no one can criticize it. But in doing so, you trade your authenticity for approval, and that's a trade you will always regret. Approval is temporary, But self-respect is permanent. When you stop living for other people's applause, you give yourself the freedom to live by your own values. Your decisions become clearer because you're no longer weighing them against the shifting moods of others. You begin to ask yourself, what feels right for me? Instead of, what will they think? And when you make choices that align with your own vision and purpose, your confidence naturally grows. You no longer feel the need to explain yourself to anyone. You have to remember that most people see you through the lens of their own experiences, limitations, and insecurities. If someone calls your dream impossible, it usually says more about what they believe is possible for themselves than what is possible for you. If someone criticizes your choices, it often comes from their own fears and regrets. Once you understand this, you stop taking their words personally. You realize that their opinion is just that, an opinion, not a fact. The truth is, no matter how hard you try, you will never please everyone. Even if you bend, adjust, and sacrifice your own happiness to fit someone else's expectations, there will still be those who disapprove. So why waste your time? Why not live in a way that makes you proud, instead of chasing the impossible goal of universal acceptance? The people who are meant for you will respect you for being yourself. The rest were never truly for you to begin with. When you finally release the need for validation, you reclaim your power. You stop asking for permission to be who you are. You start setting your own standards for success, beauty, and happiness. And as you grow more comfortable in your own skin, something incredible happens. The right people are drawn to you. People who value your honesty, your passion, and your individuality. People who don't want you to be anything other than your real, unapologetic self. Life is too short to live under the weight of other people's opinions. The more you try to shape yourself to fit their molds, the further you drift from the person you were meant to be. So trust yourself. Believe in your vision. Stand tall in your truth. The loudest opinion in your life should be your own. And when that voice is rooted in self-worth, no outside judgment can shake you. Your peace, your focus, and your joy are worth more than anyone's approval. Protect them fiercely. Relationships are meant to be a two-way street. They thrive when there is mutual effort, mutual respect, and mutual care. But too often, people find themselves stuck in connections where they are the ones always giving time, giving energy, giving love, while the other person simply takes. This imbalance is one of the fastest ways to drain your spirit. You may not notice it at first. You may tell yourself they're just going through a tough time, or that it's normal for you to be the one who cares more. But over time, you start to feel it. The exhaustion, the emptiness, the quiet resentment that builds when you keep showing up for someone who doesn't show up for you. When you're the one always making the effort, the one initiating contact, the one checking in, the one offering help, the one making sacrifices, you start to realize that the connection isn't actually a partnership. It's you carrying the entire weight while the other person simply benefits. That's not love. That's not friendship. That's not respect. That's a transaction where you're constantly paying, and the other person is constantly collecting. True, healthy relationships are about reciprocity. It's not about keeping score or demanding equal returns every single time, but it is about knowing that if you were the one in need, they would be there for you without hesitation. It's about feeling valued, not used. The people you allow into your life should pour into you the same way you pour into them. They should check in on you, celebrate you, and support you without it feeling like a chore. When you stay in a one-sided relationship for too long, you start to shrink yourself. You begin to lower your expectations, telling yourself that this is just how it is. You make excuses for their lack of effort. You convince yourself that you're asking for too much when, in reality, you're only asking for the bare minimum: respect, attention, care. Over time, this can destroy your self-worth, because you start to believe that being overlooked is normal. But you need to understand this. You deserve balanced, uplifting connections. You deserve people who make you feel seen and heard. You deserve people who not only take your calls but also call you first. People who don't just show up when it's convenient, but who make time because you matter to them. The quality of your life is directly linked to the quality of your relationships. And if you want a life filled with peace and joy, you cannot afford to keep feeding one-sided bonds. Letting go of these relationships is not about being cold or selfish. It's about being honest. It's about recognizing when someone is not capable or willing to meet you halfway. It's about valuing your own time and energy enough to stop pouring them into empty vessels. The right people will never make you feel like you're too much to care for. They will never treat your presence as a favor you're doing for them. They will treat it as a gift they are grateful to receive. When you surround yourself with mutual connections, everything changes. Your conversations feel lighter. Your support system feels stronger. you no longer feel like you're walking alone, because you know the people in your life are walking beside you, not behind you, waiting for you to pull them forward. That's what true friendship and love feel like. Partnership, trust, and shared effort. So take a close look at your relationships. Ask yourself if they are balanced, if they lift you up instead of weighing you down. If the answer is no, it's time to step back. Create space for the people who will show up for you the way you show up for them. You are worthy of mutual respect, mutual care, and mutual investment. Anything less is simply not worth your energy. One of the most frustrating and emotionally draining types of people you will ever deal with are those who only show up when it's convenient for them. They don't check in to see how you're doing. They're nowhere to be found when you're struggling. But the moment they need a favor, a listening ear, or some form of support, suddenly they appear, warm, friendly, and full of attention. It's not genuine care, it's opportunism disguised as connection. And if you're not careful, you can find yourself repeatedly opening the door for people who only knock when it benefits them. These types of relationships are not built on mutual respect or loyalty. They are built on need, their need. The problem is, they often make you feel important in those moments when they need you. And if you care deeply about people, you may convince yourself that it's worth keeping them around. But over time, a pattern emerges. You begin to notice that their presence in your life is tied directly to what you can offer them, not to who you are as a person. True friends and partners are there in both the highs and the lows. They don't just celebrate your victories. They stand beside you in your struggles. They don't just call when they have good news to share. They call when they sense you might need someone to lean on. A real connection is not transactional. It's relational. It's not about keeping a running tally of favors exchanged. It's about showing up because you genuinely care about the other person's well-being. When someone only reaches out in moments that serve them, what they're really telling you is that your value to them is conditional. They don't see you as an equal in the relationship. They see you as a resource. And the danger in tolerating this kind of behavior is that it slowly wears down your sense of worth. You start to believe that your role in people's lives is simply to give, to help, to solve problems, but not to be loved, supported, or prioritized in return. It's important to recognize this pattern early and protect yourself from it. Pay attention to the people in your life who disappear when you're going through something difficult. Notice the ones who are silent when you succeed, but quick to reach out when they need your help. Ask yourself, would they be there for me if I had nothing to offer them? If the answer is no, then you already know what you need to do. Letting go of these relationships can feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you've known the person for a long time or if you're used to being the reliable one. But walking away doesn't make you cold-hearted. It makes you self-respecting. You have every right to expect that the people you invest your time and energy into are willing to invest the same into you. When you surround yourself with people who are consistent, everything changes. You no longer have to question their motives. You can trust that when they show up, it's not because they want something from you, but because they truly value your presence in their life. These are the people who call you just to see how your day is going. They show up at your door when you're having a rough week. They celebrate your wins like they were their own. They make you feel valued not just for what you can do for them, but for who you are. Life is too short to waste on people who treat you like an option while expecting you to treat them like a priority. Protect your energy from those who only come around when it benefits them. Invest it in those who are there in every season of your life. The ones who stand beside you when the sun is shining and when the storms roll in. Those are the relationships worth keeping. And those are the people who deserve a place in your heart. It's a beautiful quality to care about people, to want to help when someone is struggling, and to be a source of strength for those around you. But there is a fine line between supporting someone and carrying the entire weight of their problems on your shoulders. When you make a habit of solving problems that aren't yours, you end up exhausting yourself mentally, emotionally, and sometimes even financially. You take on stress that doesn't belong to you, and in the process you neglect your own needs. The truth is, you cannot fix everything for everyone. No matter how much you care or how hard you try, some battles are not yours to fight. When you step into situations that aren't your responsibility, you risk not only draining your energy, but also preventing others from learning, growing, and handling their own challenges. Sometimes, the most loving thing you can do is step back and allow people to face the consequences of their own choices. Many people who fall into this trap do so because they have a big heart. They can't stand to see someone in pain or struggling, so they rush in to make things better. At first, it feels good to help. It gives you a sense of purpose. But over time, you start to notice a pattern. The same people coming to you with the same issues, expecting you to solve them again and again. And because you've always been the fixer, they stop putting in the effort to solve their own problems. Instead, they rely on you as their permanent safety net. This dynamic isn't healthy for either side. For them, it creates dependency. For you, it creates resentment and burnout. You begin to feel like you're carrying everyone else's weight, while your own needs go unmet. You may even start to lose sight of your own goals because you're too busy managing someone else's life. This isn't selflessness. It's self-neglect. It's important to understand that offering support doesn't mean taking over. You can be there to listen, to encourage, to guide, and to share resources without becoming the one who fixes everything. The people in your life need to know that you trust them to handle their own situations, and that trust can sometimes mean stepping back even when it's hard. Another danger of constantly solving other people's problems is that it can lead to emotional overextension. You begin to feel like you're responsible for everyone's happiness, and if someone isn't okay, it's somehow your fault. This mindset is a heavy burden to carry, and it's one you were never meant to bear. You are responsible for your own well-being, not for managing the emotional state of everyone you know. Boundaries are the key here. Saying no doesn't make you unkind, it makes you realistic. It's about protecting your mental and emotional space so you can continue to show up for the people you love in a healthy way. When someone comes to you with a problem, ask yourself, is this mine to solve? If the answer is no, you can still offer compassion and encouragement without taking ownership of the issue. You'll notice that when you step back from constantly fixing things for others, something powerful happens. They start to step up for themselves. They find their own solutions. They develop resilience. They learn that while you are there to support them, they are ultimately responsible for their own lives. Life is already full of challenges that are yours to handle. Carrying the weight of other people's responsibilities only slows you down and robs you of the energy you need to build the life you want. By focusing on what is truly yours to solve, you free yourself from unnecessary stress and create space for healthier, more balanced relationships. Care deeply, help when you can, but never at the cost of your own well-being. Some battles aren't yours to fight, and it's okay to let them go. Your peace of mind is one of the most valuable things you will ever own. It is the foundation on which your happiness, productivity, and sense of purpose are built. Without peace, even the best opportunities can feel heavy, and even the people you love can start to feel like sources of stress. Protecting your peace is not selfish, it is essential. When something steals your mental clarity, robs you of joy, or distracts you from your purpose, it is costing you more than you can afford to give. The problem is, we often allow small disturbances to pile up without realizing how much damage they're doing. It might be a toxic person who constantly criticizes you. It might be a job that drains you without offering fulfillment. It could be the habit of scrolling endlessly through negativity online, or saying yes to commitments you don't actually want to take on. Over time, these things chip away at your peace until you feel restless, anxious, and disconnected from yourself. And the truth is, nothing external is worth sacrificing your internal stability. Peace doesn't just happen by accident. It's something you have to actively guard. That means making intentional choices about what you allow into your life. It means learning to walk away from conversations that go nowhere but down, to remove yourself from environments that constantly put you on edge, and to say no when something doesn't align with your values or your goals. You can't always control what happens around you, but you can absolutely control what you give your attention to, and how much space you allow it to take in your mind. When you protect your peace, you give yourself the mental clarity to think clearly and make better decisions. You free up emotional energy to focus on what truly matters to you. And perhaps most importantly, you preserve your sense of joy, that deep, steady feeling that isn't shaken by every problem or setback. Without peace, even moments of success can feel hollow, because your mind is too cluttered to enjoy them. Some people will test your boundaries, and some situations will try to pull you back into chaos. You have to be willing to let go of anything that consistently disrupts your well-being, no matter how familiar or comfortable it feels. This can be hard, especially when it means distancing yourself from people or habits you've known for years. But holding on to something that steals your peace, just because it's familiar, is like holding on to a burning coal, because you're afraid of what your hands will feel like when they're empty. Protecting your peace often means choosing long-term well-being over short-term comfort. It's not always easy to walk away from a conversation, change your routine, or set a boundary with someone close to you. But each time you choose peace over chaos, you strengthen your ability to stand in your own power. You remind yourself that your mental and emotional health are worth fighting for. This doesn't mean avoiding all challenges or pretending life will always be calm. It won't. Life will throw storms your way, But when you protect your peace, you're able to face those storms with a steady heart and a clear mind. You stop reacting out of panic and start responding out of wisdom. You stop letting every little thing pull you into frustration and start deciding where your energy will go. Think of your peace like a treasure chest you carry inside you. Every positive thought, every moment of gratitude, every healthy habit you keep is a jewel in that chest. Every toxic influence, every unnecessary drama, every self-destructive habit is like a thief trying to break in and take what's yours. You have to guard it like it's priceless, because it is. Your peace will shape the quality of your life far more than your possessions, achievements, or status ever will. Protect it fiercely and you'll find that everything else, your relationships, your work, your dreams, will begin to thrive. If it costs you your peace, it costs too much. At the heart of it all, life is too short and your energy is too precious to waste on the wrong things. Every day, you have a choice to give your focus to people and situations that lift you higher, or to pour it into those that leave you empty. The truth is, your time, your peace, and your spirit are your greatest assets. If someone doesn't support your dreams, if you're living for the approval of others, if you're stuck in one-sided relationships, if people only show up when it's convenient for them, if you're solving problems that aren't yours, or if something is stealing your peace, it's time to step back. Protecting your energy is not about being cold or selfish. It's about valuing yourself enough to set boundaries, to choose wisely where you invest your heart, and to walk away from anything that doesn't align with your growth. When you stop giving away your energy to the wrong things, you create space for the right things: joy, clarity, purpose, and the kind of success that comes from living on your own terms. So guard your energy like your life depends on it. Because it does. The world will always demand more from you than you can give, but you get to decide what truly deserves a place in your heart and mind. Choose peace, choose purpose, choose the life you know you're capable of living. And remember, every no you say to the wrong things is a louder yes to the life you were meant to live.